Did you see Trump last night? I mean it sincerely. The most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched. And then, his biggest lie, he lied about how he had nothing to do with the insurrection of January 6th. We all saw with our own eyes.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
We saw police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked. He did not a single thing to stop it, nothing. Folks, I know I'm not a young man, but I know how to do this job. I know right from wrong. I know how to tell the truth. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
That's the new ad the Biden campaign is out with just moments ago. And joining us now, one of the co-chairs of the Biden-Harris campaign, Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. Right. He's a member of the Foreign Relations and Judiciary Committees. Good to have you on the show. Do you believe the president needs to reassure Americans that he's okay? And does the president intend to do that? Do you have any idea?
Look, Mika, I think the campaign rally speech that was just cited in that ad in Raleigh, North Carolina, was the beginning of that process, showing him forceful, engaged, energetic, going through the arguments that I frankly wish he had made as forcefully on the debate stage Thursday night, but I know he is fully capable of making. The stakes couldn't be higher, and as Steve Bannon reports to prison, it's important for us to also focus on the unmitigated stream of lies and hate and vengeance that came out of Donald Trump's mouth on that debate stage and in campaign rallies since then, and to focus on how when Joe Biden's been counted out before in the primaries, even on the day of his inauguration, when he called on Americans to come together and work with him to pass big bipartisan legislation, lots of folks didn't think Joe Biden could dig us out of the deep hole that Donald Trump left him, a pandemic, an economy in free fall, and an assault on our democracy. And he's done all three with incredible strength, fortitude, and vision. So I'm optimistic that he will, in fact, reassure not just the average American voter, but the editorial writers and commentators in the weeks ahead.
Senator Coons, good morning. Jonathan Lemire here. We have been reporting that the president's family joined him at Camp David over the weekend, urged him to stay in the race. We just had your former colleague, Senator Doug Jones, on air, and he spoke of it a little more tentatively, like if the president decides to stay in, that he was obviously would support him and think he would do a good job. No one is closer in the Senate to the president than you. What is your understanding? Has a decision been made? Has the president decided to continue his campaign?
Yes, and Senator Jones also said we should give the president's family some credit. Jill, his beloved and trusted wife of many years, his sister Val, who's been his closest advisor since his first campaign, his children and grandchildren, they want what's best for our country as well. Look, all of us who are close to President Biden recognize that his legacy as the most consequential president, certainly of my lifetime, is on the line here. And it's important that he win in November. So, of course, there are going to be conversations about what makes certain that we are most likely to win. He has shown, I think, remarkable skill and strength and agility as president, pulling together big bipartisan legislation. And I've gotten lots of calls and texts from journalists and editorial writers over the last 2 days. What I haven't gotten is calls from state party leaders, from governors, from senators saying that they're convinced that he needs to drop out. I frankly think at the end of the day, what I heard around Pennsylvania as I was campaigning for Joe Biden and Bob Casey and Mary Gay Scanlon and others this weekend was confidence in Joe Biden, that when knocked down, he's gotten back up before, and that he understands what it means to connect with the average Pennsylvanian. I'll close with this. The most important newspaper in that key swing state is the Philadelphia Inquirer. And after the debate, they wrote an editorial saying that the political party whose leadership should be going to their candidate and saying, in the interests of our nation and our party, you should drop out, is the Republican Party that should be pushing Donald Trump to get out.
Senator Coons, Al Sharpton here. The fact that we're looking at an election in a very tumultuous time when we have women's right to choose, affirmative action, voting rights, all have been severely damaged by this court. And internationally, Ukraine, what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in Sudan, what's going on in Haiti. Do you think enough emphasis has been put that the one that has had a stable leadership in trying to protect the rights of people here and deal with peace abroad with the support of NATO has been President Biden? And to have people just think about if Trump, who has this, by his own saying, a love relationship with the head of North Korea and is friendly with Putin, what that will do to destabilize us on the world stage and what would happen to the fight to try to restore the rights of women, blacks, and others, voting rights and others. I mean, do you think enough emphasis has been put by the Democrats on the instability that would happen to us on the world scene and the national scene if we were to have Joe Biden not be reelected and Donald Trump come back in, a convicted felon who's going to spend some time in court? No matter what the Supreme Court does today, he's convicted of hush money of things he did before he was president. How do we deal with getting that message out?
No, thank you for that question, and thank you for bringing up some of the crises that really don't get the attention they deserve, from Sudan to Haiti. Look, one of the most memorable lines former President Trump had on that debate stage was, "I did not have sex with a porn star." Think about it. A candidate who is a convicted felon. Felons aren't welcome in the U.S. Armed Forces. Why would we want one as our commander-in-chief? And to your point, Reverend Al, his dalliance, not just with Stormy Daniels, but his exchange of love letters with dictator Kim Jong-un of North Korea, are equally alarming about the possibility of former President Trump returning. This month, we celebrate the 75th anniversary of NATO, and it is Donald Trump who said he would let Russia do whatever the hell they want to our NATO allies who haven't paid their dues, as if NATO's some kind of protection racket. And I'll remind you that under Joe Biden, there are double as many of our NATO allies meeting their funding commitments, that Joe Biden has rallied 50 countries from around the world to contribute more to the defense of Ukraine than the United States has. And that's a record that is worth our repeating, as well as his having put 200 federal judges on our courts. Joe Biden is the bulwark for our freedoms and our democracy. That's why I'm committed to fighting hard to reelect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris this fall.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.